Now, multiple sources tell CBS News that President Trump is considering joining Israel's effort to strike Iranian nuclear facilities. Now, this all comes as lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are looking to limit the president's ability to order U.S. strikes on Iran. I want to bring in Robert Costa, the chief Washington analyst for CBS News. Robert, great to be with you. President Trump's approach to the conflict between Israel and Iran has divided his supporters. Many on the far right do not want the United States to get involved in this conflict, while others who are more right of center believe that the U.S. must do everything they can to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. What are you hearing from your sources on this?
It's great to be with you. What's happening right now inside the Republican Party and within conservative circles is indicative of a lot of things that have been developing, not just in recent days, but in recent decades. You have so-called hawks, those Republicans who want to take a pretty tough and aggressive stance toward Iran, want to see the U.S. potentially be involved in containing a situation in the Middle East militarily, versus those who are more dovish or non-interventionist. They do not want to see the United States have a military footprint abroad, and they're still wary about what happened in what they call forever wars in Iraq and Afghanistan that started in the early 2000s. And these tensions are very real. You see it between some people inside the Trump White House and those outside, and you have those on the outside like Steve Bannon and Tucker Carlson saying President Trump, even though they really like him, personally and politically, should be wary of listening to those who want to see more of a U.S. presence militarily in the region.
It's interesting because lawmakers really on both sides of the aisle want to limit the president's ability to order strikes, Robert. I mean, even Republican Representative Massey said that he introduced a measure to block U.S. strikes. Now, a reminder, only Congress has the power to declare war. And it's worth noting that in 2020, President Trump faced criticism for his decision to strike an Iranian military leader without notifying congressional leaders. Is there a sense that the president is overstepping his authority?
It's somewhat of a gray area when it comes to constitutional legal power for the executive. Yes, Congress formally, constitutionally is the body in our government that can declare war. But you see the president of the United States now and in previous presidencies navigate around this a little bit by unilaterally making some military decisions that don't necessarily reach the threshold of what we would call war by definition, but still have warlike elements. So you have the United States right now having an air presence in and over Iran as Israel attacks Iran. But the United States is holding back from any kind of offensive effort at this point. And that's a way President Trump's able to avoid, at least at this moment, being tagged as someone who's pursuing war against Iran. And he doesn't want to be seen as someone doing that, based on my conversations with his associates.
Yeah, and it's interesting to watch this dynamic play out, though, between Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump. Today, Trump indicated in a tweet that he was directing what was going on, saying that he chose not to take out Iran's supreme leader. Now, the U.S. is Israel's most important ally. Are you hearing anything about the change in these two leaders' relationship?
It is something to watch because the United States, including the Trump administration, are steadfast allies of Israel. That's Israel as a state, Israel as a sovereign nation that has the right to exist, Israel as a power in the region. The United States is not moving away from that position in any capacity. At the same time, our reporting shows at CBS News, and so does my own conversations with Trump confidants, that President Trump has challenges, to say the least, with Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu about the strategy Netanyahu's taking, about the action he's undergoing at this moment militarily. And President Trump wants to be the one, in a sense, coordinating, but he doesn't also want to be too involved in any sort of war between Israel and Iran. But he also doesn't want to be on the sidelines. And this is something that has vexed presidents in recent years. Netanyahu is someone who had a challenging relationship at times with President Biden, had a challenging relationship at times now with President Trump.